Hello, everybody. So, I just wanted to do a really quick podcast because I have a bit of a routine, and I just got home and I was out amongst people, and I'm eager to go upstairs and bring our dog down from the room that he stays in, so he doesn't get into trouble while I'm out, and because he still kind of has puppy tendencies, I guess I would say. Um, and I just wanted to share something that I feel is very special. And then the other person in the house is, I just hope that she's not watching while driving. The other person in the house is going to be leaving from work in about half an hour. So even though we stood outside the place talking for about 10 or 15 minutes, I got a ride home, thankfully. The rain did stop. It was briefly, about 15, 20 minutes before we left the place, but it was still pretty windy and it was very nice. And I also, I, well, um, yeah, basically, but I do, yeah. So it's only 4:30 here now, but I just wanted to share the thing I would add to the title would be, and it was briefly there. Um, at the moment, it's not, but oh, right, and there's been a bit of a figure at the top. Um, um, most of us have loved ones up in heaven, right? Most of us do. Um, if we don't, well, you're blessed and you will eventually. Doesn't mean you won't be blessed necessarily, but I use that word, but take it as you wish. The person I met today, I believe, did have maybe a bit of a religious background, but and in fact, I didn't just meet her today. I've met her once or twice at a group that we go to, and if she sees this, as I said in the car, you can just say from the group. I'll know who. I'm pretty sure I'll know who you mean, especially if you go by your name. Um, but I was just, I got home and I just felt happy and excited because there were two ladies at this group, not to say much, and I don't know what's that figure at the top. There was two ladies at this group that were horse people, and my dad worked with horses. The one lady, she did state that she's currently out of work because of a surgery, but in 2 or 3 weeks she hopes to get back to work, and also grieving. I can't remember how recently her mother passed, but and she says so she's not sure if she's gonna be able to go to the next one. And there's a 4 week one coming up, but the drop in one every I guess first Tuesday. I'm honestly not sure when the next one is because I came this close to saying, "Would you mind if I wore my horse jacket?" In fact, I'm gonna put it on in case Monique sees it. I know I don't really feel like I need to, and I don't want to be at this long because I'm tired and I want to see the dog. But I wanted to put this on. So you're like, you just got home and I took those YouTube at a stoplight and he's already live. No, I was kidding. Maybe. Who knows, right? Um, what I really love, I know being specific, is the stitching. And if I turn around on the back here, turn around the back. Yeah. It's very pretty. It's very well done. And for a while, I didn't even have it in my possession. I guess it was in storage, or my mother had it. I think that it was from from a customer of my dad's or something. There was a bit of a rip I didn't know was there. I don't know if it's new. Anywho, I don't think it is. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah. So anywho, kind of just sticking with the title for a moment, doing this quickie. Um, I feel like as soon as this lady mentioned horses, and she mentioned it a few times, and the other one actually hadn't mentioned horses all that much. Like I said, my dad worked with horses, and I grew up around horses till about the age of 6. Um, I certainly felt my dad present, in spirit. I felt his, nothing specific, but I felt him there. And I really feel that, and I think that, especially this one lady that brought me home, I wonder if she also felt like her loved ones. I mean, I think she's just a kind person too, and she was like, "Yeah, it is kind of windy to walk." And ironically, so that was her aunt, but ironically, her aunt, 30 years ago, lived almost directly across the street where they lived, from where we live, and she knew somebody that lived along the back too. But she's from outside of the city, but she says all her kids, I think, are in the city. Anywho, I'm just not talking about her much, but I haven't said her name. But anyway, basically, yeah, it's interesting. She didn't catch. Well, she wasn't the first time, but the I mean, and I'm still getting very used to kind of something. Let's say. So when she asked in the car, the first thing I said was what I've been more used to. However, I we started talking about social media, which I thought she said she didn't use very much, but she said she has a tablet or whatever, and she uses Messenger, which is good because the other lady has me, the when you're grieving, and her dad only passed away like a couple of years ago, and you feel lonely, and you feel, even with family, you don't want to be bringing them down or burdening them, with your grief, especially. I mean, and they've got their own grief, and I mean, sometimes it will intermix, right? But and this person's also musical, um, and there's just yeah, I just kept feeling like dad kind of pushing the connection to form. And now she knows the street I live on, and I gave her, a couple other pieces of information to be able to reach me, including the YouTube. And yeah, here now it's behaving. Let me just see for a moment here. Although I should do it with my tablet. Well, I'm glad I gave her mine because unless she pops up on here, I did give her my number, said I'm home a lot, I've been unemployed, right? And I have. So um, that might be, but I don't think so. Um, oh, yeah. Okay. It's one of her kids, I think, in the picture. So that's good. But, well, she's got a long drive ahead of her. Um, but yeah, I'm very thankful to have made that connection. And I think our angels may have even been kind of like the first time I met her. I can't remember the details. If it was a similar kind of weather day or whatever. I was walking through the parking lot at the place we were at, and I happened to see that her and the person she was with getting in the car, and we chatted for a little bit. This time I actually was in the car and got the ride home, which I'm very thankful for. Got me home quicker. Um, I do want the dog to be up a little bit before a nap, but yeah, I might not be doing the title justice because, like I say, I am tired and I do have to keep this fairly brief. But um, all the things mentioned in it are important, and so go out of your comfort zone and comment on a video, join a group or a class, make connections, find happiness, whether you're grieving loss of a loved one or whatever or not. Um, Life can be a double-edged sword, to use a analogy because it's the only one I'm thinking of. But that's what life is about, you know, making connections, finding happiness, doing special things. And I'm trying not to ironically put the cart before the horse, but I can almost sense, although she also has a cattle farm, I don't know if I'm a big fan about cows, and I don't know. Maybe I'm a coward. Just kidding. But I would never. I don't know. I wouldn't guess a horse owner. Maybe who knows? Maybe she has a bunch of animals too. You know. Um, but I grew up with somebody. Grew up around somebody that had cows. Um, but I think it could be a very moving experience to maybe eventually get to go out of the city and check out the farm, see the horses, have a nice visit. I think that's something that our angels would love and that we would love. Um, so, of course, with caution, but whether it's with others or by yourself, find ways to do the things that you used to love to do with your loved ones. Find ways to share that with others. And take chances, like I was saying on the weekend. We ended up somewhere that I used to go to with the grandparents occasionally, and along the way, past places we used to go to for lunch quite often. Um, in areas I don't really get out to very much anymore. I could have easily said no because I really didn't know if I wanted to be around the sister and the granddaughter um, for reasons. Even though the granddaughter is a teenager and she was a bit whiny, um, it was nice to enjoy their company. Nothing like stressful really happened. And it was a nice afternoon the other day. Anyway, he is on his way home. I did give that name because of YouTube. I just figured it was easier than the big long-winded one, and GNC probably stands for a lot of things. Um, there's like this channel seems to have two handles and a. But I did say, I doing it for the purpose, when ideas strike, because I'm unemployed and stuff. So, but yeah, um, I'm getting the sense that she could be like a Michelle for me in my life. You know, have great connections that might be nice to eventually meet. Um, form a friendship. It's I'm not meaning to be like overly emotional, but they're important things to have in life. And if you've lived long enough, you'll know that at times it ebbs and flows. And sometimes you'll feel very connected and, top of the world, whatever you want to say it. Other times you'll feel a bit more isolated. Try and achieve the balance, I think, is important. But that connection, especially when you don't have a lot of living local family and you mostly have acquaintances, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go make uh, get kisses and hugs from our dog now, um, and she will be home soon, God willing, and you can enjoy the rest of the evening. But I just felt a sense of happiness and calm, and I wanted to come here and share that. I just felt I'm looking actually on an interesting painting that we have of a horse. I don't know what kind of material it's on. I have to bring this up to stairs anyway. It's like the Linda thing, tour of the art. I could have brought her in, but not the first time. Not the first time. She probably wants to get back home anyway, and I'm tired. I'm somewhat surprised I'm doing this, but yeah. And actually, right behind me, there was a whole bunch of horse pictures. Anywho, I'm just really thankful to my dad and my loved ones, and to her loved ones. I know, I hope this doesn't seem lame to be doing this, but I felt like some people might need to hear as well that, with an open mind, um, and, you know, being willing to kind of open up about yourself with people, you can make some lovely connections. And so I'm looking forward to seeing where this one where this one goes as far as a friendship based on music, grief, laughter, horses, other animals, maybe. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, and I wanted to remind people who are feeling lonely that I'm here for you. And you know, you can always comment on the videos live or afterwards, even if you don't watch all of them. And yeah, um, and know that even if it's hard to um, feel that it's the case sometimes, life can improve and bring you greatness. And I'm sure that all of you have experienced greatness in your life. And even if you're not feeling a lot of it these days, or if you are, know that it's there'll be hard things, there'll be good things, and you can experience the good again. And I hope you do. Thank you.